Hello, welcome back. This is Dandelion Song with Records of the Grand Historian, and it's the 3rd of August, 2015, and I love my new microphone, and it's working great. So I had a clue from a listener, and I think it was Fred. If it was someone else, I want to say the right person, but I think it was Fred. And he said, look at the Washington National Cathedral. And so I did a quick alignment, and I just wanted to show you these numbers. We have a 4, this is a 4-4 mirror, the 313. Now, I'm going to try not to stammer too much, but the 313 is an important number for these guys because it's the Fukushima date, and it's also the date of the Freedom Tower opening. And those two dates are in mirrors. And the reason, what they also symbolize is the beginning of the long solar count by the Mayans, which started in 3113 BC. And that cycle came around to 647 AD, in which the Mayans started to go extinct. But they knew it. They saw the writing on the wall. They prepared, and they still had trouble with this solar cycle that they had found. So anyway, your 313 numbers, all of your Fukushimas and your Freedom Tower dates, there's 311s in mirrors in Barack Obama's name, in actually each of his names, especially if you count the B's as 13s, but even if you don't, they're still 3113s. So here we have, so when you see a 313 or a 3113, they are, just let that number pop out, but not only in the 3113 date, 3113 BC, that one is also a 44 mirror, because if you collapse both of those 3s and 1s, they collapse to a 4, you have 2 4s. And we have the 44th president. Now this one is look at this, because it has a 44, I would call this like an embedded mirror or a hinged mirror. You see, because the one is used both ways. That makes it truly the center. So that's just a 44, and it's also a nod to the solar calendar. And then look at this heading, 144.12. And you know, they must have, I'm going to go look at the dates. We're going to go to Wikipedia. I'm going to try really hard to make this a nice short video, but let's see when they made this, because they must have gone to a lot of trouble and bought up some special land, kicked some farmers off their land, or whatever they had to do to get this exact spot for this alignment. You know, someone's working over there with compasses and, you know, and headings, and they figured out they need this spot. So it says here, when did they do this? Here we are, Washington National Cathedral, and it's a register of historic places. Let's just look at these numbers. It's modeled on late 14th century. Well, that was after the death of the Cathars. I'm not sure what the Freemason stance on that is. Not sure what all those motivations, those early motivations of our Freemasons were. It's the 6th largest cathedral. It's the 2nd in the world. It's the 2nd largest in the United States, and the highest, as well as the 4th largest structure in Washington, D.C. Okay, I'm looking for the date when they made this. Okay, the foundation stone was laid in the presence of President Theodore Roosevelt and a crowd of 20,000. Construction began on September 29th. That's a 9/11 right here. 1907. I'm just going to take a look and see what pops out at me here with this. Well, it's a 16. 16 is the opposite of 61, and 61 is the gematria of church. So they do, when they're making churches, anything having to do with religion, and there's a lot encoded right now with 61, like the Philadelphia train crash had all the 106 mile per hours and the 106 on both sides of the head of the train. Those are 61s. Besides being 7s and divergent 7s, which I mentioned in a recent video, those are 61. So we have to have our 61 reference here because it's a church. So it could be in that date. So look at these coordinates. We have 77s and 55s. The 55 is the bump, bump, bum number of alarm and quake and Snape. And 77, what I have found, I'm still building my theory about when they code the 77 and what it means, but what I found in the movie last night, which I think movies tell you the iconic meaning. When you find these numbers in the news, those are more like subtext meanings. but if you find them in the movies, they are iconic meanings. They're really pointing to it. So the girl in, I just watched last night the Half-Blood Prince, and there's the girl, Katie, what's her last name, who holds the cursed necklace, and then she becomes possessed, and she flies up in the snow and makes a cross, and then drops in the snow, and she has 77 numbers. And I have to get my notes to see what they were, but the color of her coat was important. She fell in the snow. The gematria of the words in the snow is important, and that was a 77. So sometimes when I look at the 77, I see the divergent spirals of Isis, because that was one of her symbols, and we had the divergent spirals that Casey saw in the Google decode, and we have the divergent spirals on Tiger Woods' hat that he was wearing during his initiation of humiliation when he, okay, not going to get off on that aside. And we had the divergent spirals on the head of the Amtrak train when it derailed, and that was actually a humiliation of the Amtrak train as well. It derailed next to the river, and it had 601 on each corner of its head, and those are little sevens. So those are just like the little horns on the head of the worm in those ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs. Okay, so that's kind of, in a nutshell, the 77, and I'm still working on that. But anyway, I was in here before counting these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so this is a 10 spiral. Now I've seen a lot of 8 spirals in Cathar churches, and this is a 10 spiral, and I want to count the inner ones too. I don't want to take up all your time. It looks like it's a 20 though, doesn't it? There's 2 for each one. So we need to figure out what that 20 number means. But the 10, what it is it's the overlay of the 2 5 stars, the 2 5-pointed stars, the upward star and the downward star. And this is what our whole experience is here on Earth, is the balance. We walk, like Casey says, we walk between the good and the bad eye. We need to balance our vision. If you panic and you hold away and you judge the bad, you will get sucked into it. And if you try to adhere too ferociously to the good, you will find yourself judging others, and you will slip. So this is a balance act. It's like standing on a surfboard in water, and you need to find your balance. And I'm going to say that's what the 10 is about. 10 is also the reduced number of Ra. Ra is the S letter, the letter of the snake, the Holy Grail bloodline, and those are their words, so that's why I'm going to use those words. I'm not going to say that they're holy, but I bet you if you go back far enough in the etymology, holy does not mean someone who behaves well. I think it is probably a root word from the planet that they came from. But anyway, it's the Holy Blood Grail line. It's the snake. So that's the letter S. It's 19. It reduces to a 10. So all 10s are X's in Roman numerology, and all of those are matrix signs. Those are signs of Ra. Every time you see that, like in the Truman Show, you see a lot of X's. If you go above a pyramid, you see an X. So those are signs of Ra. That is a sign of the time trap. Ra might be the architect or the one of the rulers of this exercise of this time trap that we're living in right now. And so anyway, this is the, I bet you I can draw this out. Let's see. Yeah, because see okay, so see the star that has the 3 points on top. That is the upward facing pentacle star. That is the evolution of man. It's a star that talks about soul growth, soul perfection, and that's why they say repent. It's a 5 number, and it's supposed to be the upward 5, where we have the 3 on top. Then we have the other star with the 2 on top and the 3 on the bottom. That one points down. That's the de-evolution of man. So that's what this window is about. Let's see. Oh my gosh, I'm already at 10 minutes. Yeah, I was going to take you to Google Earth real quick. Let me go back here. this was going to be a 1-minute video. No, a 2. Okay, maybe a 3. I'm going to get better. But look, I zoomed in on this, Fred, and whoever else is listening. Hi, guys. Hope you had a good weekend. And what did we find here? I was like, oh my gosh, what is this? So nothing's jumping out at me on this, but I'm going to take a closer look because we do not know what this is. Look at this. Nice circle right there. I'll measure all those diameters another time. And it's actually not bisected by a non-diameter chord, so that's different for giant circles. But here's our national cathedral. Isn't it pretty? There's probably a lot more to see in Wikipedia. Oh, we have an equestrian statue of George Washington. Man, I could do a whole video just on him. These guys are, you know, this is just amazing, all these things. And we need to figure out what it means for us today. What did they know? What do they know that we don't know? And what do they know about what's happening right now that they're not telling us? And there's a lot that we can just glean off the surface. For example, you know, all the underground bunkers and how so many people are disappearing, bankers are disappearing. Well, actually, they're saying that they're suiciding, but I'm going to say they moved their families into their underground bunkers, and they're ready for whatever's about to go loose here. I'm fine to be on the surface. I don't want to be in bunkers with a bunch of selfish people. I'd rather be here on the surface with you guys. And we're going to ride this out and do the best we can. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm not afraid. I have truth in my heart. Look at this. This is beautiful. There's so many numbers on the outside of this. All right, well, I'm not going to probably do a part 2 on this in a long time, but if I did, this would be a part 1 because I know that this is incomplete. I did look at these alignments here. Nothing jumped out at me, but we do have a 5 and a 3, and that's an 8. We do have, like, say, I'm not sure where the front of this church is, but here's the center of the cross. So if we went down this way, we would have the eye. Okay, that would be the eye, that stained glass window. Let's look on this side. If they have a stained glass window on this side, then my theory is wrong about where the eye is. Okay, nothing on that side. So this is the globus cruciger again. And there has to be an alignment here. I really didn't see it when I first looked. So this is actually, oh, and here we have another eye right here. But this is the eye, and it goes back to the cross at the back of the head. Right, see the cross. If you're in Google Earth and you have a mouse that, my son taught me this, if you have a mouse that has a center button, this is what I'm using to just spiral around to try to get my view up here. Okay, so we have the eye and it goes back, and we actually have the symbolic 2 eyes right here. And oh gosh, Casey, if you're watching, you're gonna love this. Look at these 4. This is the 4, which is the D. The D is the dome, so you actually have 2 domes right here. So we have the center where the eye comes, oh gosh, wow, more information. So I told you about the upward star and the downward star. That is the good and the bad eye, right? And then we have these the twin pillars, just like they have in their arches, the solar and the lunar pillar, and they have the 4 number here. And I'm wondering if this is a little bit of a Catholic church, because normally Catholic churches don't have domes, and we don't have any domes here, but we have the symbolic number of the dome, which is the 4. That's the letter D. When you tip it back, it's a dome, and that's what it really means. That's why it's on the end of the word God. So, pretty fun. All right, thanks for listening. Have a great day. I have some big 35-minute juicy video coming up with about the number 816, the Georgia Guidestones, and the complete alignment. There should be 3 videos in there. There's 3 major discoveries in there that I have made. I didn't make them all yesterday, but they all, I think I haven't put them in a video before, so they're all in one video, and that's coming up, and I'm hoping to upload that real soon. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.